Hello, my beautiful friends. Have you noticed that something is shifting on this planet and inside of you that is difficult to put into words? It's like the entire world is speeding up, intensifying, and basically rearranging itself. And throughout all of this chaos, we hear people calling it the Great Awakening. But no one seems to agree on what that actually means anymore. So today I want to clear away all of the confusion, take the hype and the noise out of this topic, and show you what the Great Awakening really is. This way you can move forward as an individual in a grounded, aligned, and empowered way. Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean, and for over 30 years I've worked with Telstar and Archangel Michael to help thousands of people around the world navigate the events on this planet so that they can stay on a natural path of cosmic evolution. Now, before I begin, if you would like some help staying balanced and calm during all of these massive shifts that we're going through, I have a free gift for you. This is a guided meditation that you can download for free. It's called the Healing Light Meditation. And it will bring you into a beautiful state of calm, clarity, and balance in just 11 minutes. So if you want to get this for yourself, it's completely free. I'll put the link in the description below. Okay, so right now the term Great Awakening has become incredibly muddled. It's been all tangled up with politics and online movements, some conspiracy narratives, and a lot of fear-based noise. And because of that, many people who are genuinely awakening on a spiritual level aren't even sure what they're going through anymore. So in this video, we're going to reset the meaning of the Great Awakening in a way that is clear, grounded, and actually useful to your evolution. Because the truth is, you guys, the real awakening has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with taking a certain side, with online spiritual trends, or with labels of any kind. The Great Awakening is not some kind of movement that someone can own or even try to recruit you into. What's happening is far more profound, far more natural, and extremely personal to every individual. So once we clear away all of the confusion, you'll see that the Great Awakening is actually a shift in consciousness that millions of people are experiencing simultaneously. And when we understand this clearly, then we can reorient ourselves in a productive way and keep moving forward on a beautiful evolutionary path. So let's talk about what is actually going on. Now, before I get into the signs of an awakening, I want to get into the power that actually drives it. The power that drives all authentic human spiritual awakenings is the intelligence and the energy of the universe itself. It's the power of love that exists behind all of creation and is responsible for the creation of life itself. That is the immense power that is supporting your awakening journey. And it's important to remember this so that you can stay connected to the foundational principles of natural evolution. So let's take a moment to talk about the outer signs and the inner signs of this mass spiritual awakening. Let's begin with what we can observe, because the signs are actually more obvious than they might initially appear. Now, in the outer world, there is an unmistakable rise in what I will call spiritual curiosity. It's like in the collective, there is a growing hunger and thirst to know the truth, to know what is real. That's because religious institutions and their controlling dogma are actually breaking down. People are increasingly seeing that these old ancient ways are no longer adequate to address our situation. More people are turning toward meditation, energy work, holistic healing, and a much deeper understanding of themselves. And there is a growing dissatisfaction with systems that no longer reflect who we are becoming as conscious human beings. Those would be the systems that are political, educational, and societal in nature. It's like people are questioning old assumptions. They're seeking clarity, and they are craving truth and authenticity in ways that I don't think we've ever seen before. So those are some of the outer signs. But the most powerful signs are happening inside individuals. Sensitivity is increasing, not just emotionally, but also energetically. A lot of people are feeling waves of emotion that seem to come out of nowhere. They're noticing intuitive nudges that are stronger and more accurate than ever before. A lot of people feel an intense need to simplify their lives, maybe even as simply as decluttering their surroundings. People want to release relationships that drain them or move away from situations that no longer align with their deeper truth. So there's a lot of internal upheaval going on. Now, there's also a very distinct sense of being done with old patterns. Behaviors or roles that once felt normal suddenly start to feel very heavy and false. People are craving authenticity, meaning, and alignment. So we have the inner signs, we have the outer signs, and they're not really separate events. They are synchronized indicators of a planetary shift in human consciousness. So it's not like the Great Awakening is some spectacle happening outside of us. It's a transformation happening within millions of human beings simultaneously. Now let's look at what is actually happening internally that creates all of these signs. When a person begins to awaken, their energy shifts in profound ways. The nervous system becomes more sensitive because it's beginning to perceive life with greater clarity and depth. This can create alternating waves of fatigue or inspiration, a kind of internal restlessness, or even creativity. Essentially, the body is recalibrating itself to be able to hold a higher level of awareness. And your perspective begins to change as well. Thoughts that were once rooted in fear or survival start to feel outdated. You may suddenly start to see through old illusions or patterns that only served to keep you small. You might feel pulled towards things that bring peace and truth and expansion, rather than focusing your energy on things that keep you busy and stressed and in an overall distracted state. One of the clearest signs of this transformation is the activation of your inner guidance. Intuition becomes sharper and synchronicities start to increase. You might feel guided towards certain choices without being able to fully explain why. And decisions that once felt complicated might suddenly become obvious because your sense of truth is becoming stronger. And by the way, I would love it if you share anything that you've been experiencing along these lines. What has this been like for you? Let me know in the comments. This mass spiritual awakening also involves shedding old identities. This is so important. You might feel like you are no longer the person you used to be. Old roles and expectations and coping mechanisms and patterns may just not feel natural anymore. And that can really be unsettling. But try to remember that it's also a sign of freedom. It's a sign that you're ready to free yourself of all of those encumbering habits and patterns. You're actually releasing structures in your consciousness that were built on old versions of yourself, so that you can step into something more authentic and aligned with who you are today. So all of this inner transformation is at the heart of the Great Spiritual Awakening. It's a deeply personal, natural return to truth, to clarity, and to a greater alignment with who you really are. Now let's talk about a few myths versus reality. Because the term Great Awakening has been used in so many confusing ways, let's clear away some of the common misconceptions. The Great Awakening is not a political event. It is not tied to any ideology, movement, or agenda. It's not about taking sides. It's not about proving who is right and who is wrong. It's not about a conspiracy. It's not about some sort of a countdown to ascension. And it's definitely not something that requires waiting for some special global planetary event. All of these interpretations belong to the same old world of division, of fear, and conflict. And see, all of these different narratives only serve to distract us from the real collective awakening, which is deeply personal and very much an internal experience. See, the true Great Awakening is a massive shift in consciousness. It's a beautiful awakening of your inner guidance and your inner sense and knowledge of sovereignty. It's about reestablishing your connection to your true higher self. And the most amazing part of this is that it's a recognition of your cosmic nature, along with your natural capacity to evolve. It's not something that you watch happen like you're some kind of a spectator. It's something you actually participate in. It's something that promotes movement in your life, because you are meant to be the co-creator of your own evolution. And that would mean co-creation with the intelligence of the universe itself. So when we dissolve all of these myths surrounding spiritual awakening, you can return to its essence of clarity and simplicity. See, your clarity is what gives your awakening its power. Okay, so now that we've clarified what this Great Awakening really is, let's talk about how to navigate it in the most grounded, most peaceful, and empowered way. Let me share with you 5 steps about some of the main things that you want to be focusing on. The first step is grounding, which means to stabilize your energy with the earth. Doesn't that sound wonderful? See, as your awareness and your consciousness expands, grounding helps you stay centered so that you don't get a feeling of being so overwhelmed. And there are some very simple practices that are very healthy to engage with. Things like meditation, time in nature, breath work, quiet mornings, or just taking some moments of very gentle stillness. All of these simple practices help to stabilize your consciousness and your energy so that your higher evolution integrates more smoothly with your everyday life. Now, the second step is something I will call mindful consumption. When you are in an awakening process, your mind actually becomes more sensitive, and what you consume energetically, emotionally, and information-wise has a stronger impact. So this would be a good time to minimize fear-based news media or any fear-based media. Don't allow yourself to become overly stimulated, and choose information that supports your clarity rather than just confusing you further. You don't need more noise and chaos and conflict. What you really need is coherence with your higher self. And the third step is conscious connection. Seek people who uplift you and reflect the person you are becoming. Awakening doesn't mean you have to isolate yourself. It's better to surround yourself with relationships with communities and with conversations that inspire your evolution, rather than pulling you back into old patterns. Now, the fourth step is very important. It's about caring for your awakening body. Your body is part of this transformation, and it may need different things than it needed before. Honor your need for rest, for hydration, for movement, and for emotional balance. Listen carefully to what your body is telling you, because your physical self is evolving right alongside your consciousness. And this is so important to recognize. And finally, the fifth step, the most important step, is sovereignty. The Great Awakening is ultimately about recognizing that your inner guidance is the greatest, clearest compass that you have. Trust your intuition. Honor your boundaries on every level. Make choices that align with your truth. Don't let the outer world lead you. Lead yourself from within. Now, when you consolidate your energy and you navigate your awakening with clarity and grace, it will transform your experience. It becomes something profoundly empowering instead of an experience that is chaotic and confusing. Now, let's bring all of this together. The Great Awakening does not have to be a chaotic experience for you. Remember, it's not political. It's not about the latest news or a series of external events. It's a profound shift in human consciousness that begins with you as a unique individual human being. It's your inner self consciously waking up to a much higher level of clarity, of truth, and of inner alignment. And the more that you understand this, the more stable you're going to feel as a being in all of this external chaos. Now, I know it can be easy to feel that you're just imagining things because maybe the outer world or people in your life don't agree with you. And you could easily be very confused by all of the drama happening here on Earth. But if you feel such things, just always remind yourself that your journey is deeply personal. And the universe and the higher realms understand this. So you are never alone. You have immense and powerful support that is always backing you. See, your sensitivity and your desire for authenticity, the expansion of your intuition and your desire for truth, these are all signs that you are actually on the right track. You are actually positioning yourself and being positioned to be able to evolve with the powerful backing of nature and the universe. So the real awakening is about stepping into who you truly are and releasing everything that no longer reflects or aligns with your highest level of consciousness. And when you see your own awakening clearly, you will realize that it is something beautiful, natural, and incredibly empowering. I mean, it really is a magical event. Now, I would love to hear from you guys. What signs of the awakening have you been experiencing personally? And where have you felt the biggest shift inside of yourself? Share your thoughts in the comments. I always love reading what you guys have to say, and I also think it helps others feel like they're not so alone. Now, if you want to anchor your intention to stay clear, grounded, aligned, and undeterred in your awakening, then give this video a like to mark your intention. And if you would like even more guidance on your path of natural cosmic evolution, be sure to subscribe and share this video with someone else who might enjoy a bit more clarity. And remember to download my free Healing Light meditation in the link that you'll find in the description below. And with that, I'm sending you so much love, light, and high vibrational energy. Have a beautiful day, my friends, and I will see you in the next video. Namaste.